Every town has a bicycle nobody wants. In the town of Amamori, that bicycle belonged to a girl named Rin, and it was red. Or it used to be, before the rust turned half of it a dull, flaking orange. The seat was cracked. The chain squeaked with every turn of the pedal. It had been sitting behind the shed for as long as Rin could remember, and for just as long, she had wished her parents would finally throw it away. They never did. A kind man gave it to your grandmother, her mother told her once, a long time ago, before you were even born. He said it would find the right person someday. We think that person might be you. Rin had not been impressed. She was 7 at the time, and what she'd actually wanted for her birthday was a proper bicycle, one with gears and a bell that worked, not some rusty hand-me-down from a stranger nobody in the family could even properly describe. She'd said thank you because her mother was watching. Then she'd rolled her eyes the second nobody could see her. 4 years later, Rin was 11, and her opinion of the bike had not improved one bit. She wasn't a bad kid, but she'd turned into the kind of kid who groaned about homework before she'd even opened her bag, who forgot to walk the neighbor's dog on purpose because it wasn't fun, who thought most rules existed just to ruin her day. Her mother said it was a phase. Her father said she'd grow out of it. Rin, privately, thought they were both wrong, which was exactly the mood she was in on the morning this story begins, flying down the stairs with a piece of toast clenched sideways in her mouth, her uniform only half-buttoned, her school bag banging against her hip. "Rin, you're going to be late again," her mother called from the kitchen. Rin didn't answer. Couldn't, really, with toast in her mouth. She already knew. She'd overslept 3 times that week, and if she walked to school now, she'd miss the gate before it closed and have to sit through one of Mr. Endo's lectures about punctuality, the kind that lasted longer than the punishment itself. Her regular bike had a flat tire. She'd noticed the night before and hadn't bothered fixing it because fixing things also fell squarely under the category of things Rin didn't feel like doing, which left only one option: leaning rusty and unloved against the shed. "Fine," she muttered around her toast and grabbed it. The old bike was every bit as terrible as she remembered. The pedals stuck. The seat was hard as a stone. It groaned like it hadn't been oiled since the day it was built, which, for all Rin knew, might have been true. But it was faster than running, so she pushed off down the hill toward school, toast still hanging from her mouth, hair flying loose from its ties. She took her normal route, past the fish market, over the little bridge, along the row of shops that opened early for the morning crowd. She was in too much of a hurry to notice, at first, that the fish market had no grown-ups working it that day, only a boy about her age, stacking crates by himself and whistling like it was the most ordinary thing in the world. She was in too much of a hurry to notice that the crossing signal by the bridge chimed its little tune, even though no cars had passed in either direction for several minutes. She did notice, barely out of the corner of her eye, a few cherry blossoms drifting past her handlebars the wrong way, upward instead of down. She blinked, decided it was just a strange gust of wind, and kept pedaling. By the time she reached the top of the hill where her school sat, she'd finished her toast, fixed her hair with one hand while steering with the other, and stopped thinking about anything except getting through the gate before the bell. Which is why it took her almost a full minute of standing there, catching her breath, to notice that the gate was closed. Not the ordinary kind of closed. Vines climbed the metal bars in thick green ropes, and morning glories nodded from between them like the gate hadn't been opened in a very long time. Rin said, out loud, to no one. She heard laughter before she saw where it came from. A group of kids, some her age, some older, a few younger, were cutting across the schoolyard, kicking a ball between them, none of them in uniform, none of them in any hurry at all. "You're new," said a boy jogging over. He had a gap-toothed grin and grass stains on both knees. "I'm Haru. Want to play?" "I have to get to school," Rin said. Even as she said it, the words felt strange in her mouth, standing in front of a gate wrapped in vines. Haru laughed like she'd made a joke. "Nobody goes to school here." Rin looked past him. The street beyond the schoolyard looked exactly like her town. Same bakery, same red mailbox on the corner, same crooked telephone pole she always used as a marker for how far she had left to walk. But there wasn't a single adult anywhere. No one sweeping their shop entrance. No one waiting at the bus stop. Just kids everywhere, doing exactly as they liked. "Where is everyone?" Rin asked. "Everyone's here," Haru said, gesturing at himself, at the kids kicking the ball, at two girls sitting on a wall sharing a bag of rice crackers. "This is everyone." Rin should have turned around right then. She almost did. But a boy called out that they needed one more player for their team, and somebody handed her a rice cracker without being asked. And it had been a long time since anyone had looked at her the way these kids did. Like having her there was simply nice. No explanations needed. So she stayed. Just for a little while, she told herself. The morning turned into afternoon without anyone mentioning school or chores, or a single grown-up voice calling anybody in for anything. Rin played until her legs ached. She ate more rice crackers than she probably should have. She climbed a tree with two boys who dared her to and beat both of them to the top. Nobody told her to be careful. Nobody told her to come down. It was, for a few hours, exactly the kind of day she'd always said she wanted. It was late afternoon when she met Sora. Sora was older, maybe 14 or 15, sitting alone on the low stone wall by the shrine steps, watching the younger kids play without joining in. There was something calm about her and something tired, though Rin couldn't have said which came first. "You're the new one," Sora said, not quite a question. "I guess," Rin said. "How long have you been here?" Sora considered this for a moment, the way people do when a question is harder than it sounds. "A while," she said finally. "Don't you miss your family?" "Sometimes." Sora smiled, but it didn't quite reach the rest of her face. "Mostly, I try not to think about it. It's easier that way." Something about that answer sat wrong in Rin's stomach, though she couldn't have explained why. She sat down next to Sora and didn't say anything for a while, and neither did Sora, and the sun kept sliding lower behind the rooftops, painting everything a soft orange that looked, Rin thought, very much like the color her bike used to be before the rust took over. It was the smell of dinner cooking somewhere down the street that finally cracked something open in her. She caught it without meaning to, rice, and something grilling drifting from an open window. And her stomach growled, and without thinking she thought, "I should head home. Mom's probably almost got dinner ready." And then she remembered she wasn't anywhere near home at all. "Sora," she said slowly, "how do you get back? Out of here, I mean. Home." Sora didn't answer right away. She looked out at the street, at the kids still playing in the fading light, at the shop windows glowing warm and gold with no one behind the counters. "Some kids don't want to," she said quietly. "After a while, it gets easier to just stay. No one tells you what to do here. No one's disappointed in you. It's nice, in its way. But don't you want to go home?" Sora was quiet for a long moment. "I used to know the way," she said. "I don't remember it as well as I used to." That was the moment Rin stood up so fast she nearly lost her balance. She hadn't even taken proper notice of where she'd left the bike. She'd propped it against the school gate that morning, hadn't she? She turned and ran, back down the hill, back past the shrine, back toward the school, her heart pounding harder with every step. The bike wasn't at the gate. No, 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 Rin whispered, spinning in a full circle, scanning the yard, the fence, the vine-covered doors. It wasn't anywhere. She ran through the streets after that, the ones that looked exactly like home and weren't, calling out for it like it was a lost dog instead of a rusty old bicycle. "Where are you? Please, where did you go?" Kids glanced at her as she passed, some curious, some looking away quickly, the way people look away from something that makes them uncomfortable. The sky kept darkening. Streetlights flickered on, one by one, gold against the deepening blue. And somewhere in that soft light, Rin finally stopped running, sat down hard on the curb outside the bakery, and cried. The kind of crying that comes up all at once from somewhere deep when you finally understand exactly how far you might actually be from home. "I want to go back," she said out loud, to nobody, to the empty street, to the whole strange, gentle town that wasn't really her town at all. "I'm sorry I complained about everything. I'm sorry I never said thank you. I just want to go home." And that was when she heard it, a small, familiar, rusty squeak coming from around the corner. The bike rolled toward her on its own, slow and creaking, as if it had simply been waiting nearby the whole time for her to actually mean it. Rin didn't ask questions. She scrambled onto the seat, gripped the handlebars with both hands, and said, out loud, to a bicycle, because at that point it didn't feel strange at all to talk to it, "Please, take me home." The pedals turned easily under her feet this time. No sticking, no groaning, and the street around her began to blur at the edges, the way a dream does right before you wake. The cherry blossoms, she noticed, were finally falling the right way again. Down, not up. She didn't remember the exact moment she crossed back over. One second she was pedaling through gold-lit streets that weren't hers, and the next, she was coasting down the very ordinary hill toward her very ordinary home, streetlights buzzing on above her the normal way, a dog barking somewhere the normal way, her mother's voice calling her name from the front door before Rin had even reached the gate. "Rin, where have you been?" "We called the school. We called everyone. We were so worried." Rin dropped the bike in the yard and ran the rest of the way straight into her mother's arms, crying all over again, this time from relief instead of fear. "I'm sorry," she said into her mother's shoulder, and then again to her father when he came running out too, his face pale with worry. "I'm sorry I complained about everything. I'm sorry about the dog and the homework and being late all the time. I don't know what happened. I got lost and I couldn't find my way back and I was so scared." Her parents didn't fully understand what she meant. How could they? But they held on to her anyway, tightly, the way parents do when their child has come back to them after being frightened for reasons that don't need explaining right away. Later that night, after a dinner she ate like she hadn't eaten in days, after a bath and a very long hug from her mother at the bedroom door, Rin found something small tucked into the pocket of her school jacket. A single cherry blossom petal, soft pink, and beneath it, a small folded scrap of paper in handwriting she didn't recognize. It read simply, "Some of us are still finding our way back too. Thank you for reminding me it's still possible." Rin sat with that for a long while before she turned off her lamp. She never mentioned the note to her parents. She kept it folded inside an old tin on her windowsill next to the pressed petal, and some nights, before falling asleep, she'd take it out and read it again, and think about Sora sitting on that stone wall, still trying to remember the way home. The rusty red bike stayed in the yard after that, but Rin never rode it again, not because she was afraid of it, but because she understood somehow that it wasn't really hers to use whenever she pleased. It had somewhere else to be, other roads to find, other kids who might one day need exactly what it had given her. She did stop complaining about chores quite so much. She fed the neighbor's dog without being asked. And every year, when the cherry blossoms came into bloom outside her window and drifted down, the right way, always the right way now, Rin would watch them fall and think of a street that looked just like home, and a girl on a stone wall who was still, somewhere, trying to find her own way back.